What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. It's your boy Evan, your boy Will. We are back under the Tiki Hut for a nighttime episode, and we are in the middle of March Madness, finally into the Final Four. Our boy Denver Jones is in the championship, or in the Final Four, with the Auburn team that I don't believe I've ever heard of a one seed that's ever had so much downfall. Like, oh, they're not going to win. Oh, they're not going to win. Oh, they're not going to win. I've never heard of a one seed getting so much neglect, like
We've
so much
also
negativity.
never heard of a one seed that has lost 3 of their last 4 games going into the tournament.
I get
the
that.
number one overall seed.
But see, like, here's the thing. What did those 3 games do? One of them was conference play,
Right.
and 2 of them didn't make a difference. They already won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, really, what do those 3 losses concur of? They're just losses.
It's a bad string of games, though.
Yeah.
It makes sense as to why people kind of doubted them going into it. But
I agree with that.
now that they've gotten this far, I think that we put all that to rest. I know that Duke is still
the favorite,
which
is not surprising. The betting odds, it's definitely in their favor for sure.
I think that, especially if Janai Broome is healthy enough to play.
I mean, at this point, you gotta play. At this point, no matter what, like at this point, no matter what Janai's injury is, if he's able to play, you have to play.
Right.
Like, just for your team's sake, just for your.
How many times do you get to go to one of these things?
Well, that too. I mean, hopefully,
that's the point, right?
I mean, knock on wood, I get to fly out Monday morning instead of having to go to work. So, I mean, again, how many chances do you get? I think we've talked about the math. Like, you get 22 shots, 22 players, or 50, let's say 30 if you want to say 15 per team.
Mm-hmm.
You get 30 players out of how many Division I players, and how many teams get to be in the dance, and how many teams, get to make it to the Final Four and to the championship. You get 15 chances, or 30 chances altogether. Right. So 30 divided by however many college Division I players there are in the nation at the start of the year, and that's your math. Like, that's how much your opportunity is to get a shot to go to a national championship and have one of your guys in it. So, Denver, thank you for giving us that opportunity. Knock on wood, Saturday goes good, because it's going to be on you, big dog. So, UF is definitely no joke. I mean, I think all of these teams, and I think Coach BP said it the best, nobody will be mad at whoever wins this national championship. No, nobody will be mad.
Well, because it's all one seeds.
Right. How can you not say that, hey, everyone has won it this year, or everyone has earned it this year, I should say. Like, Florida has definitely earned their one seed.
Yeah.
They even beat Auburn, like, in the regular season, but regular season doesn't mean jack when it comes to the playoffs. So keep that in mind. Duke also beat Auburn in the regular season. Again, doesn't mean jack. We're in the playoffs. But Auburn beat Houston in the regular season, which doesn't mean jack. So, so all together now, we're back to square one. So here we go. And I think we've all, like, said it, like, these 4 teams are the 4 teams that have earned their right to be in this Final Four. So obviously Duke being the number 1, it's not, or being the favorite is not that surprising. We haven't had all 4 number 1 seeds making it since 2008.
Right.
So it's like, this is not something that usually happens. This is not something that, like, legitimately, is a normal occurrence in March Madness, which is why it's called March Madness, because it's not predictable like that. It's not predictable where you're going to get all 4 number 1s to just show up every game for the whole March Madness. Mm-hmm. So it is one of those things where it's like, the fact that we get to see this on its own is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, for us, being able to have somebody in it is also a big deal, especially for the agency side. I mean, having a guy. I mean, we have dealt with so many companies in the last 72 hours.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to get stuff done.
Week too, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this the past week of Elite 8, Sweet 16. Everyone. I mean, obviously, strike the iron while it's hot, of course. But, like, at the same time, you got to be able to focus on ball too. So it's like, we are diligent in how quickly we can get things done, but at the same time, there's a bigger picture at the end of the day.
It's about the athlete.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that and just what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
So marketing deals are all great and dandy, NIL is all great and dandy, but there's a bigger picture at the end of the day come Saturday and come Monday.
Some hardware.
That's what it's all about. That's what I mean. At the end of the day, you're remembered for your wins, not for your losses.
Right.
I mean, you're remembered for your losses if they're that bad, but like
last year,
3-28 or losing to Yale first round, that'll do it. I think that was sweet revenge for Janai and all those guys to beat Danny Wolf and all them with Michigan.
Yeah.
Because Danny was on Yale, transferred to Michigan. Trey Donaldson was on Auburn, transferred to Michigan. A lot of pride, I guess you could say, was in that Michigan game as well. So beating them, I feel like, was a big deal in that Sweet 16, and then obviously Michigan State.
Yeah, they really turned it up in that second half.
Yeah. I mean,
they were down by like 8.
I mean,
and then next thing you know, they're up by 8.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's been the championship caliber side of Auburn that has kind of been brought into the fold of the last 3 games since the second round, or since the second round of the tournament. Every game has just been that second half next level. Like they just showed the elite side of Auburn.
I mean, they turned the ball over a bunch of times, but yeah.
But I think
way too much.
I think that's another thing too, though. When you have those turnovers, do you let the points get scored? Because like lot of when you watch, a lot of those points aren't scored, which is obviously good, but you don't want those turnovers in the first place either way. But again,
way too many.
When you have the plus minus in your favor, even with those turnovers, that's the crazy.
Right.
That's the championship part. Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. Like they were just. I feel. I mean, on paper, statistics wise, much better than Michigan. And it was just sad. Like a lot of really silly turnovers, and it was the most they had in a half all year or in a while.
Yeah.
If it was earlier this year, I can't remember. I know they showed a statistic while I was watching, but bless you.
Thank you.
But come correct this time.
Yeah, no, there's no. You can't go down 10 this time. Yeah, like Houston. If Houston can get on top of Duke, Houston's got a defense that can really put it down on somebody. Even as good as Cooper Flag is, they'll suffocate. I mean, I'll give it to Houston. They caught Auburn early in that game, and Houston. I mean, they just have that defense that's willing to do all the dirty stuff, do all the clean glass. Like they're willing to crash boards, dive for balls.
Right.
Like, not to say that Duke isn't, but to say that they're willing to do it even more is what's crazy.
Yeah, it's all about who's hungrier at this point.
Right. And
when it comes to this Final Four.
I think this Final Four also, too, I think all the number 1 seeds actually have something to prove. Like, I don't think anyone is technically overrated. Like, no. I feel like Auburn has been talked about like they're overrated. But in all honesty, what was their overrated? Like, what did they do that was so overrated besides the last 4 games?
Right.
Like, tell me something that you watched them in Maui. I watched them in Maui. They were down 13 going into the half versus Iowa State, come back and blow them out. Like a team like UNC where they just beat them to death in Maui. It's just certain things like from the very, 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 very beginning of the season. What really changed? Same with Duke. I mean, other than losing to Duke and Duke beating Auburn in the very beginning, Duke's few losses really, what were they? Like, what really stood out other than maybe Cooper being down, stuff like that, not really playing 100% perfect. But all these 4,
it's gonna happen though.
But again, of course, that's the name of the game, and of course you're gonna get caught on a bad day. So it's like who?
It's a lot of games. A lot of games in basketball. It's not necessarily a reflection. People want to try to make a narrative out of a loss, and especially when it's when you have these teams like Duke and Auburn, they don't lose often, right? So it's like if they do lose, there's got to be some. They're like people think there's got to be some reason. There's got to be some reason other than just it's athletics, college athletics. These are kids. Like
it's a bad game. It all comes together, and sometimes your team just has one of those games and has one of those days, and it's you got to hope that it's all timing. Like it's really all timing at the end of the day for your team. Are you peaking at the right time? And I think that's where Auburn is right now.
That's where all these teams are,
right?
To be honest, like, and that's why they're there. That's the whole point of March Madness. You get caught on a bad day,
right? And you thought you were peaking, but you were on your downfall. That's how you lose. So again, I think this is going to be one of the best Final Four in a long time. Obviously, with regards to number 1 seeds, like I said, I think Coach BP said it best, with regards to whoever wins it this time deserves it. Like I can't even complain that somebody, whether win, lose, or draw with regards to this Final Four, it is legitimately something to the extent where we might not see another four number one seed for a while. I mean, it's been since 2008.
Right.
So.
I like, not because of from the basketball standpoint, but from just a March Madness college basketball culture standpoint. Maybe I hope that we don't see another one for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it bothers anybody when a number 12 seed makes it to the Final Four.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's one of those things where it's like
NC State, wasn't that last year?
Yeah, with Burns. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Guys like that, stories like that, definitely peak teams. To a point where maybe that team wasn't even supposed to be there, but now a kid from local or wants to stay there, maybe wants to go to that team. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like there's a bigger picture than just winning a national championship. Making it there could be a big deal for some of those kids or some of these kids in general that are watching and growing up watching these.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, number one seeds are great to have in and make one or two, but like having all four is still a generational thing.
Yes.
So kudos to those guys. Denver.
I just hope it doesn't become the norm. That's all.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
It's very.
I agree.
Look at the way it is, because Cooper Flag is a generational player. The team that Auburn has is a generational team. Like the talent that UF has is.
Houston brings it every year. They were due for it
since Coach Kelvin took over.
Right.
He has earned this right to be here, and he's built a program. He's not just gone out and won couple guys here and there. He has built a program to feed and build this Houston team.
And Florida, what? They went, was it, I mean, I know football, they went back-to-back, did they not, with Tebow?
Yeah, and same with
basketball.
Joakim Noah and them.
Okay,
yeah.
So it was, and Al Horford, right?
Yeah,
so it was back-to-back.
Yeah. Like
national championships?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like these guys are. You could say all four of these teams are due for a dub.
Yeah.
Like just depends on who wants it the most come Saturday. That's for damn sure.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. And there's meetings happening right now in West Palm. So
that's why everyone's here. Shefty and all them are over
there. Yep. I should be there, but I don't know what the rules are for agents and owners. It's always the dynamic for that is always so weird. I feel like only the big guys are there, like agent wise, like Rosenhaus and
the ones that have half of two rosters signed.
Basically, you got Rosenhaus with 100+ clients. Wasserman, C.A.A., Octagon, all of them.
Clutch doesn't do football, right?
They do, but that's Nicole Lynn, Jalen Hurts, and all them is her. Yeah, so that's all her. But that's not even Clutch anymore. It's UTA, United Talent Agency. But
really?
They bought Clutch like a few years ago now. But
didn't know that.
But Clutch is still Clutch. It's just under UTA's umbrella.
Right.
That's their sports. That's their sports side. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Once I know I've made it is when a bunch of rappers start dropping my name in a song. Like that's how you know, because Rich Paul's in like 6 songs.
Right.
Like, that's how you know you made. I mean, obviously having a generational player that'll never come around ever again. Like a LeBron James as your first client, that definitely helps. So,
what do you think you could rhyme with?
Evan Lawford? I don't know. I mean, just
Johnny Walker.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, maybe somebody come up with something. We'll see. Lawford.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody get creative. We'll call Lil Wayne, see what he's got cooking at Young Money. But anyways, on the NFL side, we got the NFL owners meeting, and the rules are already kind of starting to come out now. The 18-game season. All the owners want it so bad. Understandable. It just means more money. Always.
Oh gosh, more injuries.
Yep. It's all coming out. It's all the price to pay, and these owners are just
greedy.
Yeah, I mean they want their money. They want if they're paying. It's
not even about the product. It's about them.
No. They don't care. They don't care. They're about filling the stands to make as much money as possible. Yep. That's it. Owners. There's a few owners that care about their players for sure. I've definitely seen that in the last couple years now. I've definitely seen the teams that have those, that come out with every year, that come out with the ratings of the overall player, player appreciation or
Cincinnati got like a D+ for the way families are treated.
Yeah, I agree. And I can see that. I can see like certain teams, like I can definitely see how certain teams definitely like are not caring, or at least not as caring as some other teams.
Right.
Because you could definitely see the cultural differences just from the wins and loss columns.
Right.
You know, I find it very hard that a team that's very, very adamant towards their players are also losing a lot of games.
Right.
You know, so kind of just maybe a few of them, you know, but for the most part, the good teams also have really good like ratings per, you know.
Right. The good teams right now. I mean, I saw like the Patriots scores weren't great, but they're not great right now.
They're right.
So it kind of is a reflection of.
Right. And it makes sense.
I feel like it might be biased in that sense too. When things are good, players might get
winning
better.
Changes everything.
Yeah,
Don't ever
right.
forget that winning changes everything. Winning changes a culture, changes a team, changes a mindset. Winning changes everything. And that's for any level. That's for Pee-wee, high school, college, pros. It does not matter. Winning changes everything.
Losing does build character, though. Losing's valuable.
Yeah, but
maybe
losing
not
too
as
much. Yeah, losing too much will diminish your mindset.
Yeah.
Like being a loser, I think Michael Jordan says it the best. Oh, Kobe actually, I think says it the best. I don't want to be around losers. Like it's just a mental thing. It's not that the losses you don't learn. It's just the losses hurt more and are not worth it. Like when you can win. Like that's the thing. Like so, I think Kobe always said it best. Like I can't be around losers or like loser mentality.
Right.
So,
no, absolutely.
But you know, with the NFL, you know, it's again getting back to that with the changes, 18 games, overtime. Finally, everyone's going to get a possession. You know, we don't have to see Josh Allen crying on the sidelines anymore because he picked heads instead of tails, or tails instead of heads.
It's just one of those things.
When you know to pick tails, tails never fails, and you still pick heads. What is wrong with you? Like, pick tails. Be a normal human. God.
It's still sad that it even happened in the first place.
I mean, multiple times. Multiple times. Right. It's not like that was like a one-time. Yeah, it's not like a one-time deal.
Person that got slighted because of that, but it's definitely the right change.
Finally.
And what is it still? When you hit the third overtime, it's 2-point conversions?
I believe so. Yeah. I think they're going to keep that, which I don't mind that.
And they're changing the touchback to 35-yard line?
That I didn't know.
Yeah?
That I didn't see, no.
Well, it's in talks.
Oh, okay. Didn't see.
I don't understand why. Well, you want teams to score more? Like, what is it? Like, is there a disadvantage?
No, I think they're trying to keep the play alive, the kick return alive. Like, punt return, they haven't changed anything. Punt return, still punt return.
Right.
So it's like,
but they're moving it forward on a touchback, so now they're going to be less inclined to run.
No. That's what it is. Yeah, less inclined to run. Right, but they're trying to make the kicker kick it into the zone, the new zone.
Right.
If you kick it into the zone,
you have to return it.
Well, you can only call a fair catch to the 20, I think.
Oh, okay.
If you kick it into the end zone, then it's to the 35.
Okay.
So it's like, yes, that would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay in the safe zone or I forget what kind of zone they call it.
It's the return zone.
The return zone. So if that is the case, that would make the most sense.
Yeah, you're right. It hopes to add more action to the kickoffs.
Yeah, because that would make sense. If you kick it into the return zone and you fair catch it, you get it at your regular 20, 25, whatever. Right. Now, if you don't fair catch it and you run it, then it's just normal. Right. But if you kick it into the end zone, then it's on the 35, which makes it more inclined to go and return it. So,
and they
or to put it into play, I should say. Put it into play.
That makes sense. So, and they announced or confirmed that they're getting rid of the chain gang.
Oh, they are. They're going with the Hawkeye or whatever. Yeah. We'll see how that turns out.
Like I said, I think they should be on the field just for
nostalgia.
You know, like my thing is, what about when you go to the game? Don't you want to, sure, you can look at the screen and but those orange markers on the side of the field kind of show you where the first
they definitely help. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
is that just going away? I think it takes an aspect out of the football game that you actually physically go and watch.
Well, I think for
on TV,
for the Joe Schmo too, that's just going say, hey, I got extra tickets. You want to go to the game? Yeah, I've never been to a Miami Dolphins game. I'd love to go. When they get there, they're just like,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on. Because they can't see what 10 yards is. They can't imagine.
Right, and honestly, it's hard for me too because sometimes I'm like, that was not 10 yards, but it was.
That and it's like seeing that yellow line on TV. You get there and you're the average viewer. Where's that yellow line? There's no yellow line. I don't know where the 10 yards is.
I used to ask my dad that as a kid. I was like, do they have the yellow line?
They paint it every time.
Someone rolls a cart out every possession.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to the average fan, it is probably going to be very difficult to follow along if you go to the game. And that's not a knock on the average fan that can't comprehend.
Yeah,
it's just the fact that
drunk cheering.
Go down, man. Go hit them. Go Giants. You know,
oh my God,
Jesus. So I don't know. Giants. We'll see. I mean, between that and the tush push, the pulling and pushing and pulling. I don't even want to get into that, because if you take out pushing and pulling, what kind of game do we have?
Right.
What kind of legitimate, like, offensive line? What are you supposed to do? Like, you're supposed to say, oh, I can't push him, but they can push me. Like, oh, my offensive lineman runs me over. That's going to be a penalty. Like, oh, my quarterback runs me over. I hear what you're saying. I just don't get it.
I think that they're trying to make it so that it doesn't sound as targeted as the two teams.
Oh, I know what they're trying. Yeah, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it sound like, oh, yeah, it's not to aim it at the tush push. Like, it's trying to...
It's something called a competitive advantage. It exists it's a business term, you know?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
The Eagles have a competitive advantage. They're the ones that are doing it. And I don't like the Eagles, but I respect what they have going on. But if nobody other teams can do it, then...
But we've also come to the conclusion that everyone can do it.
Yeah.
And you can stop it by doing better on the play before.
Yeah.
It's not their fault you can't stop a 3rd and 3 to 4th and 1.
It shouldn't just
That's not their fault.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, as a football guy, as a football coach, it's not my fault you can't stop my 4th and 1 or my 3rd and 3 to get to 4th and 1. That's not my problem.
Right.
It's your defenses that can't stop me. Now, if you can, good for you. Like,
just seems like the NFL is watering down the product between the 18th game.
That's going to be.
And I guess the kickoff rule kind of adds more excitement, but now you're getting rid of certain plays.
I think.
What are we trying to really accomplish here? Is it player safety?
No.
Is it like, what is...
Definitely, if it was player safety, we wouldn't be talking about 18 games.
Right.
Like, if that was the case, if we're going to be real, like, 18 games that's a lot of weeks of football. Like, we did 18.
It is.
What did we do in high school this year?
15.
We did 15 for the state championship. Yeah. The boys were hurting.
Yeah.
Hurting after that
School's
season.
not getting done.
School's definitely, I mean, we were, I don't know. I mean, good
School's
for the boys.
Not getting done.
So, I mean, again, but damn. I mean, again, if we're trying to say,
on that note,
if the NFL owners are trying to preach to us player safety with regards to 18 games, like, or like other aspects, and then say, oh, but we want 18 games and player safety, it's like, who y'all kidding? Like, just say you want the extra money. Like, just say,
if they can find legitimate ways to, which I think they are doing a good job of working on. I was just reading an article earlier today about like this new digital athlete tool software that they have, which like individualizes like training and recovery programs for each player, because it like uses like Amazon's web services to like
yes. I did
every single.
I haven't seen the dynamics of it, but yes,
predicts
I've seen
like what plays or like what movements are like they're more susceptible to getting hurt.
I did see something. I didn't get into depth with it, but that's
it's
cool.
A lot to unpack, especially when you're like a coach that like maybe
they have
doesn't
people
want
literally for that.
They literally like translators, like analytics translators, literally to break it all down and just not even do the analytics. Just
there's cap guys, there's analytics guys, like there's play percentage guys, like there are literally coaches that are literally paid to just do one specific staffing or one specific. Who did I just read on? That was he was like hired from MIT.
Oh, that was for the Yankees.
Yes, let's get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
so,
on
that note, talking about analytics and shit like that with regards to making sports numbers.
He figured out that you could just take some wood off one part of the bat,
move it
up or down, depending on where that player's like sweet spot is, and
and put it there.
Yeah, you get
put it there.
Torpedo.
Torpedo Joe, let's go. Like,
and it's legal.
Why would it be illegal?
If it was outside the rules for like the bat standards, but it's not.
Right. But it's not exactly. You're just moving the wood.
Competitive advantage.
Hello, the guy's a genius. He went to MIT. He's got a degree. He's got a degree from all these Ivy League physics. Engineer, you add these guys in, you say, hey, fix this problem, but make it sports, they'll do it.
Right.
And that's what you hire. That's what you find loopholes.
Right.
You find
and it's not
guys.
Cheating.
No. It's literally exactly what you said. Competitive advantage.
Yep.
If it's not their fault that it's legal and you're able to find a way to do it, it's like Red Bull and F1. They're just that much better.
Yeah.
Like they're Red Bull.
And they have a driver that's that much better.
And yes, and it's competitive. Everybody else builds the same car. Everybody else has the same ability to do what they can do, but they don't.
Right.
Competitive event. It's the world we live in.
Personnel is
personnel. Your engineer versus your engineer.
Right. Even
better.
In NASCAR, they say, and maybe not now because it's so regulated, but they say if you're not cheating, you're not doing it right.
Like cheating, meaning you're bending the rules to the extent that
you're not really trying to go for that every last
every second,
millimeter,
every
last drop.
Yes, agreed.
That you can get out of like the parameters or whatever, or whatever you can get away with. Like last year or 2 seasons ago, there was a driver they found, because all the cars are wrapped now.
Right.
The paint.
Yeah.
They found like extra pieces of tape underneath parts of the wrap.
Yeah.
And it had an aerodynamic advantage, and they didn't find out until like later. That it was happening, but it was.
Hey,
the driver was doing well, winning races, but it's like, hey, you got to fix that. That's on you.
No, I agree.
We figured this out. It wasn't anything that said we couldn't do it.
Right. There's nothing in the rule book that says, hey, you can't do this, hey, you can't do that, unless it literally says you are not allowed to do this on your car, on your bat, on your helmet, on your cleats, whatever. Why not? I mean, there's literally rules made for competitive advantages that actually cheat the game.
Right, no.
That's what it is. If you're not cheating to win, but you're not cheating the game, so be it. So be it. Because it's not a team's or a player's or an engineer's fault that they know how to beat the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not. It's just, it is what it is. Welcome to the real world. That's what our lives are about, is to make life better, or make it so we have an advantage in life. If they figure out a way to do it and it doesn't cross any lines, so be it. Let the boys play.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Cry about it later.
That's part of sports.
Hell yeah.
It should be part of sports.
It should be. I think that hiring.
Let the boys have that.
Yeah, let the boys go yard. I'm so fed up with people like, do we really want the Yankees to go for like 11 home runs a game? Yes, I do. Yes. You know what? I hate the Yankees, but yeah, if I go to a game, I want to see them crank up 10 home runs. I want to see Aaron Judge go 3 for 3 with 3 home runs every single time he steps up to the plate.
Make the bats yourself.
Yeah,
or
figure it out yourself. Or find a pitcher that can throw Randy Johnson style where nobody's hitting that shit. Like, sorry. Unless you're going Barry Bonds, you're hopping back on the juice, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's it. Like, it's that
People
simple.
have been calling for them to go back on the juice. But
you might as well. If we're going to say, like, oh, this is cheating, like, all right, let me go hop on the sauce. Because I'd rather see the boys go yard than watch a pitcher go 9 innings with no hits.
Yeah, I agree. I think no-hitters are cool, but I agree.
No-hitters are cool.
I agree.
But I'd rather see motherfuckers go yard.
Sure, yeah.
I want to see them crank it out. Like, let me see them just bang, bang.
Right.
I just want to hear that wood crack.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
But speaking about going back to the old days.
Every dad's hyped right now about these 90s games.
The Pistons look like they're bringing back the 90s. I mean, they have really. It's just so crazy, baby. They've just adopted this.
I think they're just sick and tired of being called bums.
They're not anymore.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They're forming an identity now.
I think they're just coming together.
It's very similar.
I think they're just sick of it. I think they're just sick of all the name calling. You guys suck. You guys are gonna get the first overall pick again.
Right. Not anymore now.
Not anymore.
Definitely not now.
But they're willing to put
coach
hands to the floor.
Well, Isaiah Stewart is always looking to put someone's ass on the floor.
Dude, I'm telling you, his agents just got to be like, yo, the fines that are racking up are not costing me money. Like, you pay that out of your own pocket.
I haven't seen any highlights of his. Maybe once. Like a couple weeks ago, he had a nice layup. But it's always just he's in a fight or
throwing
something.
Hands.
Like, the first time I ever heard of him was when he went after LeBron.
Oh yeah,
and I knew him coming
out of college and stuff. So like, I laugh at that, but like again, I mean, at this point, it's time to chill out just a little bit. Just a little, not to say you got to take the edge off. Don't get me wrong. Not to say to take the edge off, because I like it. Like, I think the DiVincenzo was a little bit like, I laughed because DiVincenzo like was trying to start it, but like wasn't really in it, and then he started it.
Yeah,
and then it got worse, and then he ends up getting put down.
Comes along.
Yeah, like Nas, like DiVincenzo, you're trying to defend Nas. Nas will put anybody on that team in the dirt because that's one big dude. I don't know if you know Nas. Nas Reed is a big dude. So like watching him and then DiVincenzo trying to say, quote unquote, defend Nas, like, D, he got it. Don't worry, Nas gonna be all right. Like he ain't got to step up to nobody. I promise. But
and then we also had suspensions for Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser. Marcus Sasser, second year in the league, he's already getting that energy in him. Let it go. That bad boy Pistons energy. That's good though.
I like it.
Let them do it. We don't need another Malice in the Palace.
No, but it's exciting. The edge
just
of it
makes people want to go to Pistons games.
No, agreed. I think Detroit. You know what it is too, and I kind of thought about this like earlier today, even because I saw like the suspensions come out and stuff. I think the Lions and their edge to the city has kind of wavered or has kind of weighed on the Pistons to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like they have had success being shitty, and now a cultural change, and look how good they are.
Pistons coming together at the right time. They have a good team too.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, look at
Cunningham started really ascending.
Now starting to become an NBA player. But what I'm saying is like the team, the Lions used to suck. Yeah. They built a culture, and now they've gotten better.
Rubbing off on
Detroit has
big
sucked for a while.
Yeah.
Finally got some players. Finally built a culture, and now they're starting to play better.
Just last year they were asked.
Terrible.
Worst season in NBA history? Or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Like
maybe not. I think the 76ers still had that title. But
something like that. But
close
lost to
an absurd amount of games in a row.
A stupid amount. But even still, the point is the fact that they've gone from that to now, let's just say, miles ahead of where they probably would have thought they'd be a year ago. Excuse me.
Right.
So to say that the Pistons' edge is
schedule,
ahead of schedule for sure.
That's good though.
Yeah, you need it because again, would you have thought in year 3 that we'd be talking about Detroit, 3 years ago, competing for a Super Bowl or making it to the NFC Championship? Any of those?
No,
I didn't. I mean, not to say that Coach Campbell wasn't a good coach or the right fit for Detroit. Just at the time, you didn't really know where Detroit stood as a team.
The personnel wasn't right.
No, that's what I'm saying. But Dan came in and did what what you had to do. You build your culture.
Going.
Yes, build your culture. And I think that's what Detroit's on the right path. T-Wolves, I think they had it, and then it kind of got destroyed.
The Carl Towns trade.
I think that was a big. I think that was here. I think that hurt more here than it did on the actual like on the court. I think it hurt here to the fans, to the team, to the culture, than it actually did statistically, analytically speaking. So I think that if there's that, like you said, bite them in the ass on the in the long run, I think that's probably the biggest case because now when I look at it, I don't know if I'm looking at Anthony Edwards staying there for too much longer.
Right. No, you've said that before. I agree with you.
So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, again, for us, at this point, there's a lot in the NBA we'll talk about as we get a little bit into the playoffs now and stuff.
Focus on March, though.
Yeah,
let's finish. We got one more week. April now. Championship weekend.
We're in April now. Championship weekend coming up.
Championship Monday.
Yep. Hopefully be there. Right on schedule.
Auburn,
showing up.
Florida, Duke, Houston.
I think. I hope. It's gonna be a tough Saturday for me.
It'll be a long weekend.
Yeah, to say the least. Win or lose for sure. So hopefully it all turns out to be the best. We appreciate you guys watching and joining us for this nighttime episode of March Madness. A little bit of everything on this one. So we appreciate you guys for another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Will, your boy Evan, and we are out. See you next time.
Peace.